had some impressive moments throughout their series, taking games of some of the top-tier teams in their group. But now they're coming up against the behemoth of Group B. No surprises on Camille for Giants to ban out, but target bans here from Unicorns.
But I think there is extra room for Giants if they want to, for instance, leave Rengar available and trade away the Ivern, the Rengar, and the Warwick that Unicorns have been having. We know Unicorns aren't in any rush to pick that as their first pick, and now with LeBlanc off the table, it is the only of the OP bans that would still remain. For Unicorns, they've typically banned a lot of Zyra as well from this, as was every team, but Graves coming through as a high priority farming jungle is good against Ivern. This indicates Unicorns of Love Ivern first pick. This is one of the picks that has worked very well against it. So if a Rengar comes out here, Giants box themselves into a corner.
All right, boxing themselves into a corner. As you've mentioned, Stress, the Graves could open up this Ivern. No surprises for UOL, but what is Giants' response?
Varus is the easy response out of Giants here on this first rotation. The Zyra is available for them as well, should they want it. Or take away the Shen that has worked so well for the Unicorns. These are all high priority picks that Giants can look to take away from the Power Ponies in pink.
Yeah, Power Ponies in pink. And it's so difficult because the Unicorns have shown proficiency on so many champions over the last few weeks. It is going to be Varus and Ryze instead of the Shen, so that could be opened up for UOL if they wanted to.
Ryze has been such a big pick for Exile. Very commonly first rotation out for the Unicorns on that red side. We've seen it a couple of times as well. So from this standpoint, this is Giants saying, hey, let's get Knight on a champion that'll scale well through the game, play for a little bit later. From the Unicorns, Shen going to be a highlight here. AD carry has to be the next kind of focus. The Jhin has been the likely pick going into Varus. Ashe has fallen down on 7.2, and that leaves us at a top lane scenario here that they have to pick something for Flaxish if they want to match the lanes. But into Shen, you can play most things, so they may very well just leave that over to the second phase of the draft.
I mean, Flaxish has been willing to try things. Last week he played that Riven, didn't work out as well as was hoped. It was against G2 if I recall correctly, and you know, he showed some proficiency. He's played Lowy in the past. Rumble has been the traditional counter pick into Shen, and it's going to get locked in. So top laners secured, and Giants, now they're going to have either mid or maybe even the jungle pool potentially pinched by UOL.
This is a fairly high damage composition coming out from Giants, but I think you're right on the jungle pool here. I don't think Unicorns are likely to ban Warwick. Memento hasn't showed us anything on the champion yet, but certainly a lot of the junglers have been playing it. When you look at the rest of the jungle field, Elise comes out, and Kha'Zix as big priority picks that are still available.
All right, what do UOL want to ban? With Ryze locked in for Giants, they've already taken Orianna out. That's one of those safe matchups. But Exile has got quite a lot in his pool to play with.
Not a whole lot of pinching now on the supports coming through, which is going to give Giants the first pick if they want it. Hustlin, we know he likes his Nautilus, his Tahm Kench, so that's an area Unicorns may look to take away now that Kha'Zix is off the field. But for the rest of Giants, they continue to go mid lanes. They take away the Syndra that we've seen Exile play a bunch of times. That still leaves the Corki available, even though Orianna's off the field now as well.
I'd also like to see some form of initiation here on the side of Giants. You know, they've got situational. You can flank with Ryze, you can flank with Rumble, but they don't have a tank just yet.
Yeah.
And all that damage needs some way to enable it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see in the second round of pick phase. It is Katarina, once again, Exile, targeted in that mid lane.
We saw that last week, specifically more with their Warwick composition, where you're looking to get on one person, blow them up, give Kat the resets, and away they go. Interesting, this is Xerxes kind of being in his own mind, potentially looking at the Rumble for Giants being in the jungle, saying, hey, we'll ban away the GP just in case they want to pivot and put the GP over against the Shen. So this is a pick that Unicorns of Love have used themselves that they're preempting. We've not seen anything competitively out of Memento to say that he plays it, but they're getting it off the board anyway.
Yeah, something to keep in the wheelhouse, right? Depending on how the rest of the rotation goes, Giants could still flex that Rumble to the jungle from top lane as Zyra's now locked in. Stress, you alluded to the jungle ADC pool not being impacted too heavily.
Karma's still available now if they want to play it. The Misfortune is available as well into the Zyra, but this is a pick we mentioned for Giants. Tahm Kench quickly locked in for the Unicorns.
Okay, so Tahm Kench now, single target safety on the side of UOL. A lot of shields and heals between the Shen and the Ivern, but it's a double damage composition, something that Unicorns had some shaky wins with in week 2 against H2K. We'll see whether or not Giants can give them a tougher time. How do Giants round out the composition? Is it a jungler or a top laner? I think this is going to give us the answer.
It's top, which means it is Rumble in the jungle, and the Gangplank ban pays off here, playing the Trundle into Shen as a matchup. Good in the 1v1, split push dominance later on, because of course you will be able to subjugate off a lot of that tankiness that Shen provides, but not so great in the straight-up trades when his W is available.
Yeah, it's something that Unicorn's definitely going to be a little wary of in the late game. Stress, I'm looking at like tons of damage on the Giant squad,
Lots.
and on the Unicorn squad, it's really about nuanced team fights, right? They really want to use that Shen and that Ivern to keep Exile and Samux alive, but if one of them gets caught, there's no ways they can win a team fight, surely.
That's a big worry that the Unicorns at least have to compensate for. They will have Daisy as well to do damage, disrupt in fights, so the Unicorns have that proverbial sixth member of their squad. I actually like this composition when you have a carry like Cassiopeia, who in the late game, if she survives, will shred everybody to pieces. Sure, Ryze will do the same if given the time, but I think it still can work for the Unicorns, and we've seen them have such great team fighting. This is the same kind of composition that can utilize their team fighting to the absolute maximum.
That's the truth, isn't it? Unicorns of Love have won so many of their games in mid-game team fights, and now they've got all the tools to enable it again. But Giants have got the damage to cut them down. You can see the team compositions on your screens. This is the first time that a Group A and Group B team will go head-to-head. We'll have 3 weeks of cross-group play before we turn to our regularly scheduled group matches. Will Unicorns continue their undefeated streak? Will Giants be able to pick up their second series? The crowd here in Berlin is excited as we load up onto the Rift for the Unicorns of Love taking on Giants. Stress, you said Daisy was the 6th man. I think Daisy's the 7th man, because the Love Hurts crew here representing the hype, the energy. Definitely lots of support for the UOL squad every single week.
Yeah, every week. Always the support. Big fans, either that or they're Scottish and they want to follow the spirit animal of Scotland, which is the unicorn, by the way. This is just one of those random tidbits.
A legal thing, by the way. Take a quick look in the mini-map. Memento's already in trouble. Gonna get rooted in place. Gonna get taunted in place. No flashes yet, but no flash from Memento's jungle.
Oh, Knight was coming around the corner.
What are you doing? Oh, go to bed.
Oh, that's disastrous for the Giants. We were going to wonder how their early game would be. Looks like Knight and Flaxish were trying to collapse through. Knight is running Cleanse and not Ghost. Didn't want to burn his flash, and ends up dying for it, trying to run that summoner so that he can cleanse out of the Cassiopeia later on in the game, and at level 1 already isn't able to get away. Should have flashed, didn't anticipate enough damage coming out to kill him.
Just straight up, WTF. Giants lose a summoner in the jungle. They give up first blood. It was Samux that actually picked that up, so he's already returned to base. You can see him returning to lane. Double longswords.
This is such a knock-on effect that comes out, because already Jhin, from the lethality changes that you heard the analyst desk talking about earlier, already Jhin would have a great back, and you pick up that Dirk and it's great, it's part of his kit very early on. Normally Varus can match that, but now with that second longsword early on, it means every single time if they're going even in lane, Samux is going to be that longsword ahead of Hiku and constantly be quicker on his build, and that's a big damage difference when you come to the skirmishes. In lane, Varus Zyra should still be able to outpush and outtrade against Unicorns, but this is great when we're about 10 to 12 minutes in the future.
I can't wait to see in the future the Xerxes Hylissang double team. Watching Xerxes coming in, throwing the E down on the target, maybe having Tahm Kench leap right up, lick and stick to Giants, and then potentially allow more kills. I mean, there's a lot of CC to come down when you combo that Shen, that Ivern, and that Tahm Kench in some of the skirmishes.
Gotta also keep in mind, though, Giants, despite Knight giving away that first blood, will have that ultimate available. But I like this ward out by Hustlin, trying to just track Xerxes as fast as he can through that jungle, getting a bit of an unorthodox ward behind the Dragon Pit, focusing out the Ivern pathing, trying to just locate him as quickly as they can. Yeah,
Memento's going to pick up the Scuttle Crab as Xerxes does the same on the other side of the river. For anybody that's interested in knowing a little more about Memento, go check out the YouTube LoL eSports. There's a great player insight, and Memento Gonna try set up a play. The problem is, Xerxes pretty nearby.
Yeah, he's near enough that he can counter this play. Momento's looking for that Electro Harpoon, but to walk into the lane without any flash is very difficult. You can see he was keeping himself within the danger zone just to be able to output as much damage as possible, but thinks twice about it, backs himself away. Memento in that situation may very well have just been counter-ganking because he didn't go in, because he didn't find the opportunity. Perhaps was expecting Xerxes to walk into the lane as well because they hadn't spotted Xerxes bot side.
Very clever then from Memento. Hylissang forced to use that grey skin.
Here goes
thick skin
Xerxes.
rather, get the grey health. Xerxes gonna set something up on top. Flaxish realizes something's up. There goes the Pillar of Ice, but Flaxish is rooted down. Where is the flash? There's support coming from Memento. Flaxish is going low. Brush Caller buys some time. Flash forward from Vizicachi. Flaxish goes down. Now Vizicachi's gonna get burned through.
Here comes
The
Exile.
shield comes out.
Oh.
Exile with the twin bag. Vizicachi stays alive for one more second. Exile flashes over the wall. Looks to shut him down from the overloads. And Exile's got himself a kill.
This early game couldn't have gone too much better for the Unicorns. They get the kill at level 1. Now they follow it up with 3 successive kills later on in the game. And I mean, Unicorns at 4.5 minutes, 4 kills up to 1,500 gold, all from just roaming down from Chachi as they come through this. So Flaxis tries to get himself away from the fight. Chachi taunts on him. Xerxes is following, and it's the roam that comes up from mid, if you'll excuse me, that actually eventually takes over this. Memento thinks he can bail him out, but Chachi flashes to try and escape any kind of slow and damage from Memento. Chachi's the only Unicorn that dies here.
So good. Exile coming up just in time, despite, you know, the threat from Giants. And this puts Unicorns, like you said, Stress, 4 kills to 1, up 1,500 gold, and it's just a great punish from UOL.
It is a great punish. You can see Xerxes now has the level advantage as well. The jungle matchup going well for him.
Yeah, it is indeed. If you take a look at the gold difference in wins, this is now Unicorns of Love from weeks 1 and 2. Took them a very long time to scale up. You can see only after 28, so nearly 30 minutes. I want to take a look at the average gold difference in wins for the whole league. That's that white line that's just been drawn. You can see how it's significantly higher. Now, what we want to highlight is just how much better the Unicorns have gotten earlier in the game, and that's what this third graph is now. Week 3 last week, at 10 minutes in game, they already started accruing nearly 1,000 gold lead, and that just snowballed ahead. It's going to be even quicker today.
It's maintained for week 4, and a lot of this reasoning for why weeks 1 and 2 looked shaky and week 3 looked so much better was efficient trading in the early game from the Unicorns when you look at the skirmishes. Ooh, that wasn't so efficient. Knight got himself away from that. The difference is, week 2, Unicorns died 23 times before 15 minutes, and in week 3, they only died twice, and it was only Hylissang that gave up those deaths. Now in week 4, only one person's on the board so far, Chachi, and they've traded it for overall 4 kills. That's the Unicorns improving their early game, better skirmishing.
Especially when you look at the assists as well. It's 4 kills on the board, and it's 6 assists as well, so working together in those small skirmishes. All right, so Giants, though, they have been able to farm relatively well. You can see CS advantages here in the top lane in ADC. And Exile's using his level advantage. He hit 6 before Knight to apply pressure. There are some evil shenanigans being set up in the jungle. Xerxes going to use that root caller onto Memento, and then the trigger seed. Here comes Exile from behind. No petrifying gaze, remember. Exile has found himself between Hiku and Hustlin. Stands United is channeled. Vizicachi's caught in between the entire Giants roster. And he's going to get taken down by Hiku.
It's a bit of a curse. As soon as we talk about them not dying, trading more efficiently. Oh, Memento.
He should be able to get away from the bramble back.
Unicorns were a little behind the play on this one. Giants had already recalled out early to get the trade on top side. They wanted to push as fast as they could on the top side tower. You can see Samex is still in lane bot side, so they weren't bringing their duo over. They were trying to cut a bit of a corner, bringing Hylissang up through mid lane, but he never got there in time. He doesn't have his ultimate available either. So Unicorn's still in a bit of trouble behind the play on this one. Still ahead though, gonna catch Hustlin.
That's what I wanted! Hylissang jumps all the way in. Oh, that is so tough to swallow. Not if you're Hylissang, though. Oh, I love that combination.
That was great. That was a great little play out by Hylissang. We've seen that kind of thing. It's Xerxes that starts it off, lands the root caller, and then follows. So this was the play before. Xerxes trying to just get through Smite the Red, but Memento interrupted just in time before that passive actually stuck. Exile realizes he's caught and just pulls back away from this situation to leave Chachi on his own. I think a little bit of miscommunication. You can see how Hylissang was roaming up as well, but the 5-man stack from Giants just too strong.
Yeah, and I think miscommunication is a good point there. Being surprised by Hiku and Hassan being in the jungle and then all 5 members of Giants is not something that UOL appeared to be ready for. And I'm very excited to keep seeing Xerxes getting the Q, locking somebody down with that root caller, and then watching Hilly or Chachi jumping in. I mean, hell, technically Exile could do it and deliver a point-blank petrifying gaze. Please do not do that in solo queue, but it could be fun. It could be fun if it works.
May very well be fun. I'll have to try that one later.
And Stress, I want to go back to that gold table we were talking about. Unicorns, the reason we highlighted and brought it up in game, they tidied up their early game. You know, they gave away less deaths, they secured more towers, they pushed their lead better. It was just cleaner, more calculated play.
Abyssal Voyage potentially coming here at Hylissang, looking for another engage. Here we go. Up to top side, behind the Zyra.
Oh, remember, there's no flash.
Got her again.
Locked down. Equalizer comes out from Memento. Hustlin has been burnt down. Hiku's running out of mana, and Chain of Corruption has already been used. Flash forward from Chachi's a little aggressive.
They turn on Trundle.
They have indeed. Memento's taken the damage. Flaxish is teleported into the fight. Hilly's got the grey health burning now. May be able to gobble up Flaxish. He flashes away defensively. There's no damage from this Ivern. Keep running. Hilly may be able to get another devour, and Chachi gets another.
Oh, here's Exile.
Forward from Hilly. Unicorns throw everybody at the fight. Hilly gets saved by the fight. Now it's a realm.
Oh, they taunt.
Taunt onto Knight. He can't finish it. Knight can't escape. Unicorns are destroying Giants.
The minuscule details in a 4 versus 5 give Unicorns another early team fight win. And that all was in a rough situation from the Unicorns. They had committed Jhin into Trundle in the bottom side, denying any ability to push. They had Shen receiving a push on top side. The only options they had was make a play on top side with that Tahm Kench, with the Ivern, and it works beautifully. As soon as they saw Memento leave the lane, in comes the Abyssal Voyage. Ivern locks down the no-flash Zyra, and suddenly Unicorns are 9 kills to 2 up.
Just unbelievable. And Unicorns team fighting, even in even games, is what won them the game. And just look at this, even a numbers deficit.
They catch Memento on that ward coming away from it. That's what signals the play. Hustlin drops before he can have any kind of response. And watch how many members of Unicorns are about to die, and it's minor details, the flashes, the different little shielding plays that each other give to the rest of the team that keeps him alive. Hilly's flash away just as Flaxish is about to reset with that chomp. Flaxish ends up dropping fairly low, and although Ivern doesn't have the massive amount of damage, it's enough with Shen to buy time for Exile to come up to top lane and clean the rest of this fight up. Knight thinks he's good enough here, but Chachi again with a beautiful taunt. We saw this time and time again last week. The flash plays off the taunt, and again we're fighting.
Look at this. Destroyed. The game with the most kills that we've seen yet, James, was H2K UOL, and the record was 12. Exile's gonna break that record by getting the 13th kill before 15 minutes.
Straight up 1v1s down Knight. Knight had no cleanse, had no flash, and had no chance to get away with his life. From minute 1, Giants have been on the back foot, and Unicorns are looking like they are crushing them.
I mean, Unicorns just walked up to Giants at level 1 and got a flash and a kill. You know, just by sheer presence. And then they've snowballed further ahead. 4,000 gold, Tower First Blood was picked up. They've got the first dragon, Cloud Drake as well, and now Chachi and Exile, they're pushing mid.
They're pushing mid with a 5-0-2 Cassiopeia at 12 minutes in this game. Exile is on fire this game, roaming right when he needs to. He's been able to maintain a couple of fights, and it's only Chachi that died earlier on. Exile having a great performance.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, the whole team is playing well. How on earth are we going to vote for player of the series is tough. Oh, that's me already calling UOL to win the series. That's maybe a little premature, but I want to tunnel in on Xerxes. He's playing that Ivan again. It was first pick, 108. This is a guy who is quickly becoming one of the most exciting junglers in the European LCS. And to take a closer look at some of his stats, goal difference, improvements. You know, weeks 1 and 2, despite him even looking good, he was actually 10th in the league at goal difference. Now he's up to 2nd from week 3. Kill participation also improved. And team jungle proximity, so that means the amount of time he spends with his team, he's doing less of it while earning more gold, earning more kills. Like, he's more efficient with his jungle time. This guy is phenomenal.
And that is difficult to offset. Junglers have time and time again said, like, Trashy on the desk was like, he's not going to be able to do this against me. He's not going to get to do it. Jankos is saying the same kind of thing. Xerxes has maintained throughout the 3 weeks so far, and now into week 4, this attitude where he doesn't care who he's up against.
Yep.
He plays with a very confident style that whether it's Zach, whether it's Ivan, these picks that they are just taking that, you know, other teams were struggling to catch up on the speed. Xerxes has looked incredible so far.
Yeah, he hasn't even played a single game of Kha'Zix when it has been like first pick worthy to every other team. And, you know, we were actually talking to Sheepy backstage before the series and talking a little bit about Unicorn's pick ban theory. And despite Sheepy saying and acknowledging like the power of red side pick ban theoretically, the current frustrations with needing to ban those OPs limits how much you can use that power.
Yeah.
And when you compare two teams like Unicorns and Giants, where UOL have stronger individual players, better team fighting, clearly a better early game, being able to target ban blue side is why they picked it for this game 1.
And there's also different things you have to consider now on red side as well, because if Unicorns are on red side, they play Warwick. So now on blue side, you ban that out. What happens if Unicorns choose not to ban Rengar? You basically have to pick that on first side, right? And then they get Warwick or Ivan as their own rotation. So there are too many picks right now for Xerxes that are not Rengar.
Yes.
That it is difficult to put him on something that he's not comfortable on. And, you know, over in the TCL, he played the Rek'Sai, he played the Elise, he played all the other champions. It's not that he doesn't play him. He doesn't need to yet. These champions are just in his wheelhouse and he feels stronger on them right now.
Such a great line. Doesn't need to yet. And we'll need to see if Unicorns can keep it up when they play against the likes of Giants or Misfits or Fnatic. The top 3 teams. Sorry, G2.
G2,
Thank you. I said Giants. They're playing it right now. When they play against G2, Fnatic or Misfits. There's a Chachi's being run down. Attack the global. That is one of the standards.
Watch mid lane, though. That's going to be where the kickoff is for Unicorns if they go aggressive. Ooh.
A lot invested for that. Abyssal Voyage used as well. Stranglethorns is caught to exile. The curtain is called, but there's not enough damage, and Samux forced to retreat and run away. That's 2 kills for Giants. The Abyssal Voyage delivered Xerxes and Hylissang to the top lane. This is a support.
Redemption!
This is 2 support.
Hey!
The Redemption snipe. The item is more damage than Ivan.
It is one of the most frustrating items to play against on Ivan, but here comes the rest of Giants. That's a short-range Realm Warp. Only level 10. Only has 1 rank in it, but whatever gets you there. Here comes Shen.
Stand United. There's some vision denial as well. The taunt comes out. Equalizer's burning down the catfish. Hustlin is the target. He's going to flash to safety. Unfortunately, Hilly goes down. Unicorns of Love are being scrambled and split apart. Xerxes looking to shut down the low kills. Look
They
at
got
the
Hikyu.
refuge. He's alive.
Xerxes.
Chachi blocks all the damage. Gets a Shadow Dash taunt. Cleanse has been used. Xerxes, you're strong. Where is Daisy? Not available to you. He's going to have the flash as well. Trigger Seed, buy some time.
Oh,
Sidestepping
Xerxes.
the vision. Sidesteps the overload. You can't avoid the point and click CC.
Oh, he's out.
Samux is now in for the fight. Flash is over.
Oh, Unicorns completely outplaying Giants against the numbers. Every time they fight, they're against the numbers, and Unicorns are playing with their food. Xerxes just straight up 1v1ing Knight at the end of that fight before Samux comes in and flashes a wall to kill him. That's insane.
The confidence, 3-0-10. Xerxes been involved in 13 of his team's 15 kills, and just went like super toe-to-toe, denying vision with that brushmaker, popping the shield. Unicorns, I think you said it best, Stress. They are playing with their food. It's fights like this that are so entertaining to watch.
I mean, Chachi is like basically on his own for the start of this, so he ends up getting picked off. But it takes so long because he's fairly far ahead that he dies, and then Hylissang shows up and brings Ivan. This is Ivan, Tom Kench. Yes, they're ahead. Just out-damaging a duelist top laner and a damage-based jungle. Yeah, he's got like 500 health left, and that's all. But just, this is so frustrating if you're Giants right now to deal with this, that Blackzish dies to redemption. And then Unicorns just go, okay, the rest of your team's coming. 4 versus 2, we'll take it.
It sucks so bad to know that redemption is going to bonk you on the head and just take you out. It's beautiful to watch.
It's beautiful. It's so
beautiful
funny
to watch.
Look at this. Look at how Samux gets the tower in mid while this fight's going on and then runs up to kill. Like, this is just unbelievable.
I actually have a question for Sheepy, which he can't hear now because he's listening to his team. But I have to follow up with this. Earlier today, he said, please don't use the term chaos style. What is this game if it isn't chaotic? Because, like, you know, Giants feel like they've caught out Vizicachi in a fight. We're still in the same replay, and Xerxes just dodged so many abilities.
Held the flash that entire time. Samux says he doesn't need his. Just flashes over.
Fantastic.
Gets the kill.
All right, we're almost 20 minutes in. It's a 6,500 gold lead. 9 kills, 2 dragons, 3 towers. Take a look at the damage dealt to champions. It's all Vizicachi. I've actually never seen an Ivan do that much damage at this time in the game. So kudos to Xerxes for making that one work.
And the Hylissang in what should be a heavily out-traded bot lane because they got a Tam Kench that just sits back. Hylissang's just left the lane.
Yeah.
As soon as Giants rotated out, Hylissang went, okay, that's my time to go. Abyssal Voyage has been used 3 times and they've just completely crushed them.
Completely crushing Giants. That's what Unicorns are doing. Look at the itemization. By the way, we've not touched on that a whole lot. Is the double lethality build. Ghostblade into Edge of Night for Samux. Only the single completed item for Hiku. He's behind the curve.
And Edge of Night is the most, you know, annoying item to play against, I think, and the most satisfying thing to have for Samux, because every 30 seconds he gets a 10-second shield. That's only a 20-second downtime that you can catch him before he just walks forward with that shield or pops it before his ult. So anytime you want to try and delay him, here comes Hylissang.
All right, where is the Abyssal
He's gone
Voyage
top.
being
Gone
delivered?
top.
We're trying to find out. Baited even the observers. Knight was able to escape. No summoner spells blown. I thought I caught a glimpse there. Vizicachi, by the way, picked up the Rift Herald buff, so he's going to be using that to help out against Flaxish. And we've already touched on the 2 dragons. There was a Cloud Drake picked up while we were in that very extended replay.
Oh, that was the Equalizer being used on top of Samux.
Yeah, he's already healed to get to safety and managed to escape. No further CC to lock him down.
They popped that Equalizer off when Edge of Night was not available. You could see it on cooldown the last couple of seconds. One thing to note is amid all of this action early on, Flaxish has been farming over in the side lane. He has a significant farm lead over Vizicachi. It doesn't actually amount to a gold lead, though. He's actually 500 down.
Do you see what's happening here?
I do.
Nobody else can because it's in brush. Oh, fantastic timing.
It's also really slow.
Yeah, I mean,
I figured I had enough time for my point.
It's a two-man Baron. Okay, hold on. Daisy's tanking. Baron's
It's
going
done.
low. Baron's going low.
They
There's
got
no
him.
equalizer. And there's a teleport in for Vizicachi. He's going to cancel that one, actually.
That's what happens when you have the Daisy fed Cassiopeia at 5-1 and 2 and a fed Ivan that can just stand there just past that 20-minute mark. It means as long as you got vision control, you take the Baron.
It's going to take a monumental mistake from UOL in order for Giants to come back in this game. It is such a sizable disadvantage, and the team composition from UOL, they can cover such great distance with the Abyssal Voyage, with the Stand United, that as soon as they start pushing these inner turrets, they can switch between bottom to mid to top, wherever they're applying pressure, extremely effectively.
And normally it's safe for Giants that with Rise on their side, they could match it, right? Normally you'd expect that. But they're so far behind, you almost don't want to straight up match it a lot of the times. You don't want to try and force a fight. You just want to play defensively, and if that's where your Realm Warp is going, you'll never really get close enough to a tower because suddenly you got to deal with the Cassiopeia, the Ivan, the Shen coming in as you actually appear. You'll lose the tower before you ever arrive.
Absolutely. First game this year for Exile on this Cassio. 5-1 and 2.
Here comes the TP behind them, though.
Okay, TP in, from Flaxish behind Unicorns of Love. Hylissang's caught by the chain of corruption. Hilly's forced to pop the grey health, surviving for a few seconds longer. Redemption's bought some time and hustling, flashes to safety. Now all of a sudden, Giants are on the run. Flaxish gets devoured. And
Knight.
Unicorns are hunting. Exile, Twin Fang. Giants started the fight. Unicorns ended confidently.
Yeah, they're going to finish this one, even getting on Hikyu, Edge of Night.
Devour.
Gotta just wait for it, Hilly. Oh, he waits it out.
It's so tough to watch. Hilly doesn't even go down to the tower. 3 kills more for the Unicorns, an inner turret, and, well, hell, anything else they want.
Just when you thought it was safe to teleport back into mid lane, Chachi matches it with a Shen shield himself, taunts everybody on your team, and you end up losing an inhibitor. This is a Baron buff. This is 23.5 minutes in. Unicorns are looking to push to win.
Yeah, Exile's already burnt down hustling throughout the miasma. Well, I didn't have a flash anyway.
They can just go mid and take mid inhib tower here as well. You can see Samix takes the quick way out of the lane, though. Oh,
good
got in on
performance
Memento
from Unicorns. Memento forced to flash defensively. Now look at the damage from that Twin Fang. Good sidestep from Hikyu, doesn't get caught by the Petrifying Gaze. Xerxes, the next target. No available locket. Here comes Daisy. He's gonna look to punch down Flaxish in the face. And Knight doing the best he can to fight on the front lines. Daisy will be going to, looks like he's gonna get killed actually. He escapes just with a fraction of life, and Unicorns have broken up in the base. Now, it is important to note, this is the #1 team from Group B, taking on the #4 team from Group A. And last week, G2 dismantled Giants in a fairly similar fashion, right? It is a big disparity between #1 and #4 in the groups, and that's what Unicorns are demonstrating here.
Exactly. Unicorns are just showing, hey, if you can't hang with us in the early game, we will start to crush the rest, just like G2 did in that perfect game last week up against Giants. Samix,
all right,
let's see if he's got perfect aim
the
for a
slow
perfect
helps.
game.
Third one, fourth one. Knight's going to be able to sidestep a few of those. Get him, Hylissang. I think he even stalled just to look for that movement, hold it out. Xerxes not going to get jumped on.
Chachi's here again.
United's already finished. Xerxes continuing to run away. Memento's down. Petrifying Gaze stuns up nobody. Chachi's got that Titanic and he's running down, hustling. Taunt for a double kill. Flaxish running away with his life. 20 Unicorns. Giants have families.
And Unicorns have brought their family to this one by the seam of it. I mean, every fight starts 2v4 in favor of Giants. Giants are like, okay, mathematically, no way we lose this fight with double the numbers. Suddenly, Exile's there in time, Giants picking rough fights, continue to allow Unicorns to snowball this, and there's been almost no fight in this game since minute 1 that Giants have won.
Yeah, well, stress, a lot of that is Xerxes, right? 3-0-14 on Ivern. He set a new record today for damage at 25 minutes on Ivern. It's 3 times the previous record. 3 times the damage at 25 minutes for a champion that technically is not meant to have damage, but he's got 4 items completed.
That's ridiculous. For context, I'm sure you mean European Iverns.
Thank you.
On that one, just to catching
Just
you
to
on
be
that
safe.
one, just to be safe.
Yeah.
Somebody I bet in like LSPL's come out and been 10-0 or something like that, but at this point, Xerxes is so unbelievably unkillable.
I mean, the whole Unicorns team are, and that's why they're sieging up.
Oh, they've caught
Nexus.
Knight again.
Daisy with the wallop for the knock-up. Knight goes down, and Flaxish not going to fall just yet. It is just a matter of time while the base is being shredded. Super minions pouring into the base. Giants in a 4-on-5, trying to turn something around. Miasma prevents any defensive flashes if there were any available. And Exile, with all the shields and the heals, finally gets dropped down by Hikyu. The Nexus gets turned on, and the Unicorns destroy Giants.
I think we all learned Unicorns don't get paid by the hour. They must be pretty expensive on this one because that was a fast win. That was an insane performance. It all comes from just catching Knight level 1. Knight ended this game 2-8-3 because the Unicorns were relentless at going after him.
How do you possibly play against a team that is so willing to throw every single body at a team fight every single time?
I don't know. I really don't know. This really is a new day for Unicorns fans, though, because that was a Unicorn stampede running right through their opposition. I don't know how you deal with that when you lose your flash at level 1 and your mid laner dies. Theoretically, it's play back, play safe, account for losses, wait until you can kind of get this rise to snowball, and then he dies 1v1 again.
I mean, at the end of the day, Giants tried that delayed lane swap, you know, and they tried to push a tower down. They got collapsed on by Tom Kench. I mean, you're going to take a little closer look at the Unicorns trampling of Giants in a few moments. Analyst Desk is not quite ready for us. But yeah, I mean, the Tom Kench, like, play defensive, play safe. You can't, because Xerxes and Hylissang are literally running at you. Like the Tom Kench, Ivern Shen combo, they got so many kills.
So difficult to deal with, and I think it's not a problem that they lost in the draft. I actually like what Giants were doing in some situations, but Unicorns play their style and play it very effectively.
They do indeed. So, once again, the Giants were trampled by the Unicorns. Analyst Desk, can you tell us why?
We sure can. Sorry about that, and thank you very much, Trevor. Well, trampled they were, starting off with the Unicorns, got a great start, got the first blood, got a 3-for-1. But Krepo, you did want to highlight a move that the Giants pulled off to try and get back into the game, which works specifically well against the Shen in any situation.
But you just told Trevor we could. Now we're talking about Giants. But I did want to talk about this map because it's actually really interesting. With Shen being 100% pick and ban in week 3 of the LCS, a lot of bot lanes have started adopting this move where they base early and they basically rotate towards Shen to stop him from going for kind of the ult party in the bot lane. Now, Giants do this very obviously, and we want to highlight this in the replay, not kind of to super criticize Unicorns, but to look for a point of improvement, because we think Unicorns are a great team. They win the lane, they put it in a freeze here. So Unicorns, they catch that wave and they essentially could screw over the Giants bot lane pretty hard. But Giants, they're going to base and run top. The problem here lies in the communication. When you are freezing bot lane, which is bottom right of the map, you should never make an aggressive play top left of the map, because that goes against the first law of cross-map, like thermodynamics or whatever you could call it. Memento here will punish Xerxes, and then there's very kind of rash communication where Vizichachi sees his jungler get caught, so he ultis in kind of late. It's all very reactive. So this, to me, screams reactive gameplay and no communication within the Unicorns of Love lineup. And this is something they have to improve if they want to face off against teams like G2, H2K again in the future, because you can't play a punishing style on the bottom side of the map and try to punish it in the top side of the map when you're even in gold.
Cross-map thermodynamics.
Yeah.
I don't know what the thermal is.
Well, there's the first law of thermodynamics. There's
they
probably
got
the first
kill and they looked hot doing it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, well, that was something we highlighted that needs work for us from the Unicorns of Love. But we also wanted to highlight something that we've said about them before, is that they are good at team fighting and target selection. And we're going to take a look at a team fight that starts, though, with Hustlin overstepping.
Yeah, well, this is the precursor to it. It's a lot of these fights for Giants where it goes wrong. It's like, this is right after they got that advantage, right, Vedius, but they hustling face checks again and again.
Yeah, he certainly does. And UOL, they want to try and punish this, so they force a play on the top side. And as Shox was saying, we really want to highlight the target selection. So initially, they go after Hustlin, who has no flash. They're going to then turn their attention to Hiku, force him out, and because he has no mana, it becomes difficult for him to re-engage in the fight. Memento feels confident enough with the TP follow-up that they can commit, and just look at the positioning of Hiku. He gets zoned away because of all of the vision that is available in the river, spotting out the Cassio moving up the rotation, right? Meanwhile, UOL are just slowly kiting back and buying time to allow Exile to get the inside track where they can then commit to this dive.
But the problem I have with all of this is that you kind of give your dog a treat for misobeying. Like, this is not great league, because look at the bottom lane right there. The AD carry is solo pushing on the turret, which means this was a 5v4 exchange. This all works out because Hustlin is not respecting, first time the brush, and second time not the Tom Kench ulti that he actually gave the Tom Kench by face checking and giving more experience over. So he's behind the experience. They're playing too far up on the side of the Giants. Unicorns punish this, but I feel it creates bad habits where you keep going for these fights and you go in no matter what, but because you know you go in with full conviction, you know your team will follow up, and you know over a large sample size, it tends to work out so far. I'm just afraid if they keep going for this style where it's fight, 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 a smarter team will abuse it against them.
That's very interesting, because it is what we've said about them, and not just the last couple of weeks, but the last 2 years, I believe. And
but they got really good at it.
They got really good at it, and it goes hand in hand with their no hesitation playstyle, and the Shen, who's always in there, and who can kind of make up for some of it together with Tom Kench in this scenario as well.
And that's one of the things I feel we do need to really praise the Unicorns for. It is very much the fact that they are very team orientated. If they commit to a play, they all work towards it. And many times, Crep and I were discussing during the game what the correct play should have been in certain instances, and more often than not, it was just Unicorns out of going, oh, one of our laners is in trouble, let's go, let's fight, we need to go save our laner. And it's very much a reactive outplay style rather than a let's set up and play the way the game how it should be.
Yeah, reactive gameplay works very well when you're ahead, because you have this margin of error, you have time for basically some guy who gets caught to survive the extra 4 or 5 seconds, and then you can turn it around. They have really good in-fight mechanics as well, so like we're not dissing the Unicorns here because they're fighting their way out pretty well. Xerxes really knows the limits of this Iron champion, but there is still room for improvement if they really want to be consistent top team, I think.
Yeah, you have the good way to do it, the bad way to do it, and the Unicorns way to do it, which is just crazy, and it works. So coming up, we'll have game 2 between the Giants and the Unicorns of Love. That is after the break. Stick around.